Yep, the video is super true. Um, and just a heads up, even though this is true, and of course I'm saying link down the description down below that does a better job explaining it, but also sort of explaining the thing I'm about to say. Just note that although most of it has been confirmed to be true, this is a kind of developing story. Plus, also this is in another country, which is kind of ironically enough funny, which shows another thing. That means this thing isn't just becoming deadly; it is spreading like wildfire outside of the United States. And what's interesting is this also, it's worth noting, and I think this is true, but do correct me if I'm wrong, if you do try to dive into this. Um, this is technically similar to that whole Pokemon Center Japan thing that happened last month as well. Although that was a total different thing, and ironically enough, it has nothing to do with, ironically enough, cardboard. That was all about a romantic dating thing. But yeah, it turns out, mostly because I'm betting a lot of money that either the Pokemon Company, Nintendo, or even probably some sort of store chain, I don't fucking know, I don't fucking care, is literally paying big bucks to keep this story in the country it is until it was kind of released or something. I don't know. Or maybe someone didn't look for it. That auction is probably more likely. But it just feels like how much this is not well known and this just came out, especially the video, because the video I'm saying down the link below, the person who's talking about it, Penguin Zero, literally just found out this as well. And I know that I jokingly use Penguin Zero a lot, and similar to how he himself talks about this certain subject a lot. But he does a better job explaining things. I haven't seen another YouTuber does a great job explaining this. And also, I'm kind of like him in the video. If this situation is getting so much worse, and I'm very passionate about Pokemon. Now, of course, I'm not like him with TCG. The only other TCG I ever really touch is, of course, Yu Gi Oh! But I am passionate about Pokemon in general, and yeah, this is just a sucky story that, again, surprisingly enough, doesn't surprise me, but it's still sad this is happening. And yes, like I said, this is in fact true. And it's ironically like I said, it predates the shooting that happened. So if you recall correctly, a couple of weeks ago, I talked about a similar case where someone decided to pull a freaking literal freaking heater and start shooting a guy because he wanted some cards. Well, this one's 10 times worse. And by the way, I could be wrong. And again, this is in fact so unknown right now that it's only be covered in fact, the country it's in. In fact, I think right now the reason why it's popping up is because it is sort of seems to be updated and seems like the case is getting into court, which is why. But this just makes the situation 10 times worse. So, according to what everyone can find out, and again, this is speculation, but I am just going to point out what I know, what it is, in my own personal opinion on what happened. A woman who I won't pronounce because I don't know their name, and I don't think I'll be able to pronounce, but we'll just call her, the victim here. The victim, as you see on the thumbnail, was a person who was definitely into Pokemon in a general way like I am, and she sell Pokemon cards for a living. And all this is in Chile, by the way, if you're wondering what country it is. This is in South America, Chile. And what happened is two insane psychopathic, I want to literally come over these Pokemon cards because I think they're the stock market, who is a couple, by the way, too. This couple came over to the victim, and again, the story is blurry on how this happened. In fact, the whole thing is also just creepy, even with the info we got, because it's just nutty. But apparently, long story super short, but also very interesting, this killer couple, was able to somehow break into her house before she came even in the house. He walked into her house. They basically murder her and stuff her corpse, cut up her corpse and stuff it into trash bags. P.S. This part is a little bit theoretically, but let's be real here. As pointed out in the video and in the news broadcasts, apparently they bought a bunch of trash bags and tape. And let's be real here. What do you do with trash bag and tape if you're a freaking psychopathic killer? So that may have been happening, but again, it's unknown what they did with the corpse afterward. But it's pretty clear they did murder him, or her, I meant. And my theory is because of how psychopathic crazy, they must have given it to their drug dealer and smoked freaking mushrooms, because the whole thing is just insane. And again, that's just prediction, and I do sorry if it comes out wacky and weird and offensive, but for fuck's sakes, these people do not need any sympathy or mercy, because these people are fucking psychopathic insane. You cannot actually be serious on murdering a person for cardboard. And I know I keep calling Pokemon cards cardboard, but let's be real here. It is cardboard. But still, even without the cardboard thing, it is just nuts. You're murdering someone for trading cards. Are you absolutely fucking serious? And again, this is super short because, again, the information is a little bit There's no English dub like freaking Penguin Zero, which is the only source, by the way, which is also why I wanted to tackle this, other than the fact that this story is just fucking bullshit. Apparently this is not well known at the time, so hey, might as well help spread this. I mean, I don't mind if I get on the hype train, but also really I do want to think this story needs to be spread, because this is just madness. Again, these people murder a person who was generally into the Pokemon series because they want to use the cards to sell them, because they're confusing it with the fucking stock market. And I know it's an over-exaggeration, but that's how this whole scalping thing feels like. Like, again, and I know someone did comment this, and I don't mind them commenting this because I know it's an over-exaggeration, but there's a justification of my over-exaggeration of saying that a country is going to ban Pokemon cards sooner or later. And hell, I'm even changing it from US to a country, because this is insane. Because, look, I know it's an over-exaggeration, but I have a gut feeling, man. I am really honest, because this is getting way too out of hand. Like, you cannot argue the fact that some people are literally actually doing a purge. Again, I keep jokingly bringing this up, but I feel like people really just saw Meat Cannon's old interpretation of the scalping at the time, because this was before all this. He made a video which is pretty good, and I was making fun of them, but they must have saw this, and they were like, okay, because literally, did they get an idea from the video? Did they want to murder people for cards? In the end of the day, this is just cardboard. And it's the only reason why I'm complaining about it, because it's not just because it hurts the Pokemon people who are actually fans of this, Pokemon fans like myself, because, it really does suck to be a fan, because, getting lumped into these scalpers, and even then, it really just sucks, because all you want to do is just enjoy the series and all that. But even without all that, like, moving all that aside, this is some psychopathic crap here. This is insane. You cannot tell me that you're murdering a person over a children's card game. That is insane. Like, literally. And again, it's super creepy, too, because this ain't just like what Betty, including myself, thought, like, bang, 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 bang. No, this is like a literal stealth super spy agent thinking they're Men in Black murderers here. They literally killed her like it was like nothing. They killed her like a horror movie. I don't know how to describe it that well, but they really killed her in a very psychopathic and sadistic way. And the fact that they went so far is to get rid of the body in some way and keeping their mouth shut. Like, literally that one Hugh Joke commercial from Family Guy sent a message to them that you're not afraid of hell. Fuck you. And like literally all that shit is insane. It is absolutely insane. This needs to be covered. And look, like I said, I know that it's extreme to say that a country is going to ban Pokemon cards. But my own exaggeration is kind of justified because this is just getting out of hand. Like, there's got to be regulations, and luckily there probably kind of are. Like Penguin Zero in his video pointed out, there has been regulations by the stores themselves because they're trying their hardest, but they're only few and far between. And even then, their regulation is like, okay, we're just jacking up the prices for the scalpers, and that's it. Like, that's not going to stop them. Oh, they're probably, and even then, like, yeah, they are making low bucks, but to be fair, if they're trading off money and sticking as a start market, it's probably not really affecting them. They're just too stupid enough to not see that. They just don't care, and it's just really sad. It really is sad. There's no other way to say it, that psychopaths have since literally ruined this literal children's card game. This is for children in the end of the day. I mean, I said it before and I'll say it again. This is a reason why I don't want to even go out of my way to get Pokemon cards anymore. Because I don't want to accidentally, well, not only be accidentally called a scalper, because honestly, I wouldn't blame the person who's doing that. Though I don't sell my Pokemon cards, I keep them. But really, I don't want to accidentally creep it to the cost because, again, this is for children, not grown people like me. But yet, here we are in this fucking wonderland of stupidity, apparently. And it's just really sad and such. Like, it is a really creepy situation. And again, if you want to learn more and the actual full take, again, I have the video down below. Because unfortunately, there's not a lot of coverage. Hopefully, this does spread like wildfire. Granted, I do think it is because, again, this is Penguin Zero we're talking about here. You know, Moist Critical. But really, this story does need to spread, and it just sucks, man. It just sucks, honestly. This is just insane. I can't believe this. Why? Fucking why? It is just, you can tell I'm ranting, but still, this is justifiable. Like, why? You're killing people over for cardboard. This is insane. Anyways, this has been Floxcat, snapping off here. Bye. Holy crap.